Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Kishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he's satisfied with the progress of his administration 5 weeks ahead of its first 100 days in office. Mr. Christie told reporters today that job creation and crime reduction remain major benchmarks. Our Clint Watson spoke to him on both issues today.
Satisfied with respect to that great challenge that the country had, that we are in the process of really challenging it.
In the face of opposition and an anxious public, the government is making significant progress to do what it has been mandated to do within the first 100 days of governance. Prime Minister Perry Christie says they have been working to create jobs, which he hopes will not depend on the public purse.
But I am going to be driving, as I am now, the possibilities, and I mean possibilities, for private direct investment. This is therefore being able to commit the government to trying to create jobs through the private sector rather than relying on the public sector. We know that we must be very conscious of existing conditions, and therefore we must be very careful about how we look to the government as a major employer, given the cost implications to governance in this country that we're presently faced with.
In fact, Mr. Christie says they've been busy negotiating new investments and reviewing proposals that previously existed. He also spoke about an announcement he made previously concerning Bimini.
We believe that once it is properly and effectively done, it will move to significantly between now and the end of the year to employ people, firstly more into construction, secondly in people who will be operating the casino, and more people who will be indirectly employed by the resurgence in the economy of Bimini.
But it's not been an easy road. While on one hand trying to create new opportunities for Bahamians eager to work, on the other hand preserving jobs that already exist is critical. ZNS News was the only news source to receive information of a possible closure at the Wyndham Resort, reportedly due to low occupancy numbers. When we put the question to Prime Minister Christie, he said he was not aware of this information and wasted no time calling an executive at Bahamar to get first-hand information. Following that call, he responded to our probe.
It wouldn't surprise me if they have to do so, but I can tell you that since it is an issue, I will take immediate steps to determine their position on the matter. I do recall some time ago mention was made of the possibility of it, but not specifically. And so it's a matter that obviously will concern us.
The Balancing and Juggling Act doesn't end here. The new administration has mandated that it will lead the fight in reducing crime, particularly through Urban Renewal 2.0. This combined with a number of other promises committed to, like the national referendum on gambling, which he says will bring in significant revenue. He's also committed to the white paper on tax reform.
Good things are happening in the country, and it will soon be apparent to even those who do not want to see it.
The Prime Minister recognizes that his administration is being held to an even higher level of accountability. He says it's all because of their aggressive to-do list within the 100-day challenge. And really, they have about 5 weeks left. He says already you can see and feel change. And he says if you haven't seen it yet, keep watching and looking and judge them by what you'll see to come. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
There's been much discussion over what some have called a delay in appointing the various boards to head government corporations. But Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis and Prime Minister Perry Christie told reporters outside the Cabinet office today there's no delay. Instead, a lot of undue pressure to meet deadlines that really don't exist.
Well, it's always, baffling for me to understand how it is that we are always held at a different standard than the previous administration. We will be announcing our board, right, within a period of time that will be less than when the previous administration do theirs. And that will be before Friday, or sometime by Friday, on or before Friday.
It's easy to say, Ingram came with his boards on July 8th, and it's not July 8th yet. But I'm not doing that. What I'm coming with is saying we are going to have effective and efficient governance in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We're going to be open to criticism, and we are going to be quick to respond. That's what it is, our democracy. We're going to make it work, and we are so excited that we have so many new, young, aggressive personalities in public life that are so good for the Bahamas.
Meantime, the Progressive Liberal Party is responding to questions from the Free National Movement chairman, Charles Maynard. This in response to queries over when those board appointments will be made. In a statement released today, the PLP notes that the FNM did not appoint statutory boards and committees until July 8th of 2007. Meantime, the PLP says the record will show that the policy directives and mandate given to the FNM appointed BEC Board of Directors almost drove the corporation into bankruptcy. The PLP is asking the FNM to apologize and to seek forgiveness from the staff of BEC for failing to support and lead them and thousands of consumers who were affected. Meantime, the PLP says the projects left in place by the last PLP government to construct a power plant on Snake Key, Abaco was a colossal failure because of poor decisions by the FNM cabinet. They say it was well over budget and never provided reliable power to the island. Since its launch 2 years ago, the Bahamas Striping Company has continued to make a name for itself by specializing in road markings on streets and car parks and at airports and sporting facilities. The 100% Bahamian-owned and managed company is now appealing to the government for a bigger piece of the economic pie to further contribute not only to the labor force but the economy. Aldavis Munnings has the story.
What makes Bahamas Striping stand out is the use of high-quality thermoplastic or traffic paint to create road lines with a long-lasting stripe. Thermoplastic is said to last 3 to 5 times longer than paint. Thanks to a Self-Starters Program grant in 2010, company president Atario Mitchell's philosophy is to train young Bahamians to learn a trade and become productive citizens of society.
Young persons today are sitting home idle with lack of jobs, and me training these guys, giving them a skill and a career, keeping them off the streets and keeping them out of trouble.
And that's exactly what he's accomplished. Now, Bahamas Striping Company officials informed us that they've only received minimal government contracts. Due to the nature of their business, company officials feel they qualify for top infrastructural projects that would keep Bahamian funds and talent inside the country.
My company is fighting up against a foreign company with actually getting all of the major road projects. And that is where I want these guys to get their training on some large road projects so they could grasp the full understanding on quality controls, safety procedures on a major road, and actually have the first-hand experience on doing the work.
We plan to employ many more young men, and we feel as if we are trained, we're capable to do the work, and it will pretty much help to cut down on the unemployment rate here in the country.
At a recent job site in Fox Hill, we found 18-year-old Romel Davis, who's been employed with the company for less than a year, training 2 new employees, ages 18 and 23. All of these young men value the experience gained.
You have the knowledge, so anytime they call you, they can send you to do something, you just do it right away. And at a time, you could help other people by teaching them how to learn it too. So it's a good experience.
It's really a good trade to learn. They'll come from selling phone cards and washing cars. Now I could really have a real trade where I could do something better.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS News.
Still to come in the Bahamas tonight, we will test your independence trivia skills. Stay tuned, that story is up next.